welcome to the Sonic Shuffle, a random and holistic Sonic lore podcast. I'm Morg, a student.
I'm Dan, the teacher.
And I'm Devon, another student.
Hello. Yes, we are covering the Sonic OVA, the 1999 Sonic OVA?
Yeah, I think it was originally released. Let me check. I have this open. So the original OVAs came out in 1996, and the English dub came out in 1999. Around the time Sonic Adventure 1 came out, actually.
I didn't know it was that old. Sonic Adventure.
Yeah. Yeah, Sonic Adventure 1 came out, in America at least, on September 9th, 1999 as a Dreamcast launch title. In the US, they had like this whole thing about how it was coming out on 9999. Let's see. I really love this OVA. What were your thoughts on it?
I like how it looks, and I like a lot of parts of it. The pacing's a little odd for me.
Yeah.
And I mean, part of it might be just because it is a standalone thing, but it just seemed like they made a lot of references to stuff that doesn't exist also. I felt like I was watching part of something. Kind of. How about you, Devin?
I liked it. I definitely felt like, with the pacing, it feels like something that Sonic himself would watch. Is just like all over the place and just never lingers on anything too long. It just kind of zooms by on everything and you're like, oh, okay, we're here now. I will say, boppin' soundtrack. Absolutely boppin' soundtrack.
Yeah, the soundtrack is incredible.
I I was like immediately grooving. But yeah, I was also just like very impressed because I mean, even though we've watched other like Sonic cartoons that were all like old enough that it was kind of like all hand drawn, this one had like a very, I don't know. I liked the style of this one a lot.
Yeah.
Style of animation. That
I
makes sense.
I believe, and this might not be 100% true, but I believe that the studio, Perrot, they also, like, animated the like, intro and ending cutscenes for Sonic CD, which preceded this.
Oh, neat.
Did they do anything for Dragon Ball Z? Because the whole time I felt like I was literally just watching a Dragon Ball Z movie.
I'm looking at their portfolio. Not Dragon Ball Z, but they have been involved in several shonen. Like, looks like they were involved in some of the Naruto movies. Let's see, they did Urusei Yatsura, which was this series that ran in the early 80s, very classic anime series.
I don't know that one.
Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh yeah, it definitely feels like Yu Yu Hakusho. It definitely has like that same animation style.
Looks like Super Milk-chan. I'm seeing a bunch of stuff I recognize that I don't think is as widely recognized. Oh shit, they did Shirokuma Cafe. That show's great.
I don't know that one, but I can see why you thought like the girl gave off some Dragon Ball vibes. I don't know
Yeah,
if it was just like her face.
it's definitely animated in the style of like a late 90s, early 2000s like
Yeah.
animated feature. Like everything looks and feels like it. Maybe that's where I'm getting it.
It's very 90s OVA. OVAs were kind of like a distinct form of anime just because of how they were produced, they tended to have like they could do something with a higher budget and better animation than like a traditional television animated series. So why don't we get into this? Just try to recap it as best as we can.
Yeah, so we kind of like just watched it, and my notes are shit, but that's fine. Uh, I like that my first one is everyone sounds weird because I'm here expecting like the adventure voice actors and stuff, or the adventure two is
Right.
what I know, and I was like, Knuckles has such a high voice. Um, but no, it was fine though. Like that, the they were fine voice actors. It was just like I'm expecting one thing and getting another.
Yeah, that's definitely fair.
The first OVA begins with this whole like dramatic shot of Metal Sonic, who is being as is about to be built, almost done being built,
Yeah,
and
and
like
then Robotnik has like a monologue about like wanting to get the last bits of Sonic uh energy. I don't remember,
He
but
says he needs his like life energy to be complete.
he needs his Sonic juice.
He needs that sonic speed.
then we get like the title screen and the opening scene. It's on this floating island with a big lake, and there's this owl pilot professor dude flying over there.
Yeah, with and then it also like it cuts to like Sonic and Tails hanging out. Tails made a new invention thing. Sonic's just like ignoring him until like he gets like almost fucking ran into by the owl who's like gonna crash. The owl who never gets a name, by the way. He's just constantly referred to
Yeah,
as the old man
Yeah, he's just the old fella.
yeah,
or the old fella.
yeah.
Um, Gabora, God, Gabora. I mean, he does kind of give
Yeah.
like the information since he's like, Sonic, you have to go see the president. So Sonic's friends with the president in this. Sonic's friends with the president in multiple universes. So that's good to know.
Yeah.
Yes.
He looked more like a king than a president, but they called him the president, so.
He was always strapped out in like military regalia. Like he always just had pins on.
Yeah, I guess it could have been just military stuff. I don't know why I was like king. I don't know.
What is a president if not a king?
God,
Whack if true.
I hate to think about it. You're kind of right, but
There's like a whole rescue sequence where like Sonic like chases down Old Man Owl on his plane. And he saves them, and they have to. And Old Man Owl tells them they got to go see the president. It's like super important. And then we get like this big scene of the tornado taking off. The tornado is their plane. It's it's really cool looking.
yeah.
We yeah.
Sonic like always rides on the wings.
Sonic, please sit down. You're flying. Sonic.
Sonic, you're gonna fucking fall off.
Sonic.
Oh no, he's wearing.
It's okay, you got no slip shoes on.
No, he's wearing earpods. What?
Oh no. Yeah, Sonic riding on top of the wings is like just always gonna be a thing. Like, if there is a plane, Sonic will ride it on the wings. He will not sit down like a normal boy.
He just thinks he's invincible, like, as if, like, falling from that height won't kill him or something. You know what? Maybe it won't. I don't know. I never saw him fall.
Yeah, we never saw
I
him.
mean, I can't...
No, later in the OVA, we see him fall from a horribly dangerous height, and he just gets up. He's just alright.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen Sonic take fall damage.
Sonic does not take fall damage.
But he cannot swim. I repeat, he cannot swim, and that does come up in the OVA.
Yeah. Like earlier on in like the scene at the beach, he's just like chilling on the beach because he doesn't want to swim. When the rescue sequence happens, he doesn't actually swim on the water to get to Old Man Owl. He like runs on top of it like a Jesus.
I love what a consistent character trope is that he just can't swim. It's just a consistent thing they constantly bring up, that he cannot swim.
Yeah, and that's true in, like, a lot of Sonic things. But I thought he also couldn't run on water.
I think it depends. Like, sometimes he can run fast enough to run on water, but sometimes he can't.
Sometimes he's Jesus, sometimes he's not. Sonic parting the Red Sea. Wait, no, that's Moses. Wow. I'll be quiet. I don't know shit.
Sonic parts the Red Sea by spinning really fast. Like
There
a
you go.
Beyblade.
Like a
You saved
Beyblade.
it. Like a fucking Beyblade. That kills me.
Oh, it's all a shared universe.
Let's turn this into a Beyblade lore podcast instead. No,
It's all a shared universe.
I mean, it might be. So yeah, he goes to the president, and he's like, think he's talking to the president, who's in his little chair, but then turns around, and it's Robotnik.
Yep. He seems to have taken the president and the president's daughter, Sarah, hostage.
My date with the president's daughter. Also, until later in the OVA, I literally thought she was a human woman. And she is not.
Yeah.
She has cat
She's
ears
like-
and a tail. I was like, this is a human woman. Why is she in love with Sonic? Why is every human woman in love with Sonic? What is going on?
My thing is, so is the president also a cat man?
He doesn't seem to be. He's like some sort of... He's got elf ears.
I thought he was also just
I
a
assume
human
that,
man.
Like, her mother is... I assume that, like, her mother is the cat person. Or, like, it doesn't matter, because she's nobody. Her name is Sarah, but, like, she doesn't exist in, like, anything else, as far as I know. She's just, like, a cat girl. Like, not a cat anthro, a cat girl. Cat,
Yeah.
just the ears and tail. Like, very, yeah. I don't know why, it just, like, struck me. I'm like, this person does not belong here. She is not a human or an anthro.
Yeah.
What is happening? Anyway. She
Yeah.
loves Sonic.
She really loves Sonic.
She does. Let's also just want to note, like, Dr. Robotnik has, like, these unique, like, special robot men instead of, like, the SWAT bots or generic badnets or what have you. They're, like, spiky ball men. Like, they're made of orbs, and they've got spiky balls for hands and guns.
I love them. It's such a, like, fun round... There's a lot of round robot designs in this.
Yeah.
And I very much like
They
it.
literally hold up signs to communicate, and I love them dearly.
Dr. Robotnik explains he's going to recruit Sonic for a mission. He gives some lore about how this world consists of, like, 2 layers, the land of the sky and the land of darkness. The land of the sky is in the sky, the land of darkness is
That's
the
where the
surface.
Heartless come from.
The oh man, the Heartless of the world. It's just
There's so many shared universes in this.
what would the nobody of Earth be? I'm gonna think about this because I have to think about where to put the X.
Hey, is Metal Sonic
anyway.
is Metal Sonic replica Sonic, or is it Sonic's nobody?
I think it's Replica Sonic, right? Like it's gotta be.
Replica Sonic?
I
Shadow
guess he would
is
be replica
just
Sonic.
Replica Sonic.
dude. Shadow's just Sonic's nobody.
Shadow is Sonic's nobody.
I'm a genius. Anyway,
Someone make an anagram of Sonic with X in it. I'll be right back.
Sonic.
Sonic's. Just stick it on the end. So
Synxos.
Xinxos. Yeah. So it's just interesting because like it seems like Robotnik is the only living thing that lives on the the dark land of darkness. They call it like the darkness world or like the land of darkness. Whereas like everyone else lives in the sky apparently, I guess. Because that's where they are now. Like that's where the president is and everything. But so they agree, even though they don't really trust Robotnik. But they're like, well, he's holding people hostage, and also, I guess. Oh, we didn't actually. Or sorry, I didn't actually say like the Shadow Land was taken over by Metal Robotnik, like a robot Robotnik that he made and went crazy and did something so that the world's gonna explode. I don't know. It's all bullshit anyway. Spoilers, it's bullshit anyway.
It's okay. All of them fall asleep
The
during
exact
this.
wording I don't remember, but like I think like the general gist is like the main reactor or whatever for his robot factory on there is being set to overload, and if they don't stop it, it'll blow everything up.
Yes, yeah. And so yeah, they agree, but even though they don't trust him, I guess.
Yeah.
And they
They
fly there, right?
Yeah. Robotnik gives Tails a sort of wrist communicator watch thing.
Wrist GPS.
Yeah. Mainly so he can track their location.
Wrist Siri.
And then yeah, they fly off to the land of darkness. During the like flight sequence, we get like these shots of Dr. Robotnik and Sarah fighting each other in like a fighting game. I guess Virtua Fighter.
So a lot of the Sarah Robotnik interactions later I don't like, but this one I like a lot.
Yeah,
actually.
this one's
Yeah.
genuinely cute of her just beating him in video games, and then him winning once, and her being like, "I don't want to play anymore." Actually,
Yeah.
And they cut him twice. Like, it's a funny little gag.
Yeah. In the background of one of these shots, you can see one of the robots just like cleaning the windows. Eventually, they decide to go on a sort of joyride. It seems like a big ship crashes into the like pseudo White House that they're in.
Yeah, that made no sense to me, especially later when we find out what the joyride is.
yeah.
I was like, okay, sure. So Robotnik and Sarah just go in there and leave the president behind.
Yeah.
I guess. So I guess the president's not a hostage anymore, and Sarah is, but is also willing. And I'm like, okay, sure.
Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of. It's a little confusing and perhaps not well written. There, one of the robots is holding up a sign that says "Goodbye, Sarah," and that's important.
It's very
It
important
is though.
they communicate
Nice.
through signs, and I adore them.
Yeah, so we cut back to Sonic and Tails. They crash land in the land of darkness, which is like in a world of constant overcast. It's there's like a whole section of them like traversing through it. It's it's really cool. Some Sonic runs a lot. There's some
There's
robots.
robot battles, like robots he's fighting along the way. And then he like lands before the road. What is it, Robotropolis? I don't remember. The Robotic City. Like before he goes there, they're in like a what looks like a post-apocalyptic like Earth town.
Yeah, it's like post-apocalyptic New York, and they call it like the ancient relics or whatever.
Yes, yes. And I was like, oh shit, this is Earth, maybe.
Yeah,
And
it's
I had
there's like
said
an over.
early on it kind of looked like sci-fi stuff, and this just kind of reinforced that. So that was cool.
Yeah. Um, let's see. Eventually, Metal Robotnik shows up, and he's like this giant robot with some, I guess, Eggman-esque features. He's got a big cape and spikes. Uh,
He's very round,
very round.
and yeah,
And
it keeps trying to like shoot Sonic and Tails, and eventually it like chases them into water, but like not really. They like
yeah,
it like it looks like Sonic and Tails fell, but they're like hanging on to some like decrepit um like road pieces,
yeah, some rebar.
and they're trying to trick Sonic because Sonic can't swim. So they're like, "Oh, he's drowning." Um and so they pretend he's drowning, and then they like go away, except Robotnik apparently, or Metal Robotnik apparently didn't fall for that. Starts chasing them again.
Yeah. Uh, Metal Robotnik shoots glue from his asshole.
He sure does. And he's shitting and farting, and some of it gets on Tails. And, and it's very unfortunate.
At first, I wasn't sure where it was coming out of, so I was like, well, I actually would rather the butt. Uh, anyway, so, wow, why did my notes say Metal Robotnik thick? I don't like this. Why did I write this?
Because he shows us his asshole.
No,
Uh,
this was before. This was before he spread his cheeks.
Was it like, oh, was it the wings? Was it when he revealed that he has cool bat wings?
oh yeah,
Oh yeah, probably.
yeah. During the chase sequence, he like pops out a jetpack, and then the jetpack pops out a pair of wings. It's cool. Uh,
Got some bat wings. But yeah, when he's shitting and farting, Sonic gets like stuck, and then Knuckles just comes out of nowhere,
yeah, it's
and
Knuckles, and he's got a cool hat.
I'm like, and Knuckles, he's here. And yeah, he saves. Oop, Siri thinks I'm talking to her. Sorry. Nope. Thank you. I thought I turned that off. I don't know what is going on. Anyway, uh, Sonic, not Siri, um, is saved by Knuckles. What was I saying? and Tails couldn't fly because he had like shit between his tails from the goop. I don't know. I didn't even think about the fact that for some reason he needs them both free. I keep trying to conceptualize how his flying works. I don't know why.
It's just by the power of belief, and he believes in both his tails.
True. The power of love for Sonic.
Yeah, but during all this, Sonic is very much drowning. Did we skip by the part where Sonic gets stuck and starts to drown? Okay.
I think this is around that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just skimming through the video to make sure I've got everything on track.
Yeah, we talked about like the fake drowning.
Yeah. And then he
And
gets
then-
stuck and Robotnik like breaks the road and it starts to sink and Sonic just very much just begins to drown. And I don't know what Knuckles is doing during all this,
Yeah.
actually. I actually really forget that one.
Eventually, like, Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles are able to, like, team up and overcome Metal Robotnik.
Yeah, and then like Sonic eventually like Sonic spins through it, even though it's like supposedly really strong metal. And the three of them end up going away after they like think the Metal Robotnik is defeated, and then we cut back to Metal Robotnik, and Robotnik and Sarah are inside.
What a twist!
Wow. Guess that's the
Yeah.
joyride. For some reason, Sarah just went along. Whatever.
It's a great
you know.
twist.
Yeah, I guess this happened.
I mean, I guess I would also not want to like fight Robotnik in tight quarters either. But
Yeah, so, like, next is, like, the last scene of the first half of the OVA where, like, Knuckles is like, you know me, I'm a treasure hunter, and also, you can't pay me back, but you can put it on my tab, and I'll pay me back later.
yeah, Knuckles keeps talking about how he has a job and he's working, and I'm like, what is your job, buddy?
Yeah, he says he's a treasure hunter because Sonic owes him.
Oh, okay. Because I was
It's
like, who
it's
even
pro-
is this?
It's
Knuckles?
probably where he got that cool
Like,
hat.
He does have a cool hat. I don't think we've talked enough
We
about
haven't.
the cool hat. It's a cowboy.
The hat is very, very cool.
Yeah, it's a cowboy hat, but it's got like stars on it, and the stars look kind of like the like goalpost stars in the save points. in
Oh, I didn't
the
even
classic
realize
games.
that. I was just like, oh, he's got sheriff stars on his hat or whatever. Um, that's actually cool. I mean, I thought it was cool anyway because I was like, oh, cool. He has a cowboy hat. I think this is the only hat wearing Knuckles I can think of. Because like even like neither Beefy Knuckles nor Twink Knuckles wear a hat.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
this is Twink.
Right.
yeah, but this is treasure hunting
He's
Twink
different
Knuckles.
though. It's
Yeah.
Treasure Twink Knuckles. Yeah.
They see the lights of Robotropolis, and they head off into it, ending the first half. Knuckles can fly.
Yeah, Knuckles says, "Hey, I gotta get back to like work, so I'll see you guys later," and then just goes, "Actually, never mind. I'm coming with you guys," and just flies after them.
He could just fly. Like he's not even gliding like he does in the games. He's like levitating. It's very strange.
He's fully just flying because at one point he stops and turns around to talk
Yeah.
to them. So it's not even like he did a big old jumpy. He can just fly.
He flies now?
And I will say,
Sorry.
he only does this once. It has a long cooldown.
So the second half of the OVA starts, and they enter like the core of Robotropolis, where there's like this big reactor that has Dr. Robotnik's face on it, and it's about to go nuclear.
And they like get to it like with a second left, like they figure out how to turn it off with 1 second left, and everything's good. That's the end. No, that's just the beginning of OVA of the part two. But at some point, the reactor seems to shock Sonic, and the ghost of Metal Robotnik just like appears. I don't. Uh, sorry, out of nowhere, and like it's like,
it traps Sonic in like green goop and then kind of falls away,
oh
and
yeah,
we
the
get to
reactor
see
does, yeah.
yeah, we get to see new and improved Metal Sonic, and they're all like, "Who's this?" And then like blue will-o-wisps just form everywhere,
Yeah, what the fuck is up with
and
that?
then they all just they all just form a portal for like the corpse of Metal Robotnik to float on through. But it turns out it's just Robotnik's other small, fun friend robots just pushing it out of this portal. I had no idea what was going on in this scene.
Yeah, I think the idea was like, oh, it's still alive, he's still around, even though it was like broken as hell. And yeah, like his little servant robots eventually fall and drop the big metal Robotnik, and he and Sarah come tumbling out. And they realize, oh, this was a fool. We were fooled. This was a trap.
They were
They were
japed.
japed. And the whole thing was like they took some of Sonic's like they like took his data, his essence, and transferred it like or not transferred it, but like copied it into Hyper Metal Sonic, which just looks like Metal Sonic to me because I just know him as Metal Sonic from Adventure 2 Battle.
Yeah, he's basically just Metal Sonic. Now that the Hyper Metal Sonic is complete, Dr. Robotnik's plans have completely succeeded. Sonic tries to like fight Hyper Metal Sonic, but he's like evenly matched. There's just a big old fight sequence. At one point, you see like the night sky and Saturn is there.
I was like not sure how this whole like moon planet situation worked. So that's why I was like, maybe it's not Earth. I don't know. But I like it. It's very aesthetic.
It's a good shot.
Yeah. This is when I realized, oh, Sarah was a cat girl also, because when she like popped out of the robot carcass, her tail was shown, and I was like, oh, that's not a bow on her head. Those are ears. Oh, I see.
This is also the point where Metal Sonic takes Sonic and they fly the like. This is also a point where they take Sonic. Metal Sonic takes Sonic and flies to the ceiling of the underground wherever they are, and a giant like spike just falls onto Robotnik City, and he doesn't seem to care. Like it crushes like half the city, and he doesn't seem to mind at all.
Sonic is successfully taken out by Metal Sonic. We get a little visual of Metal Sonic of his HUD just showing that he won.
Oh yeah, the HUD was actually very funny because it just like showed Sonic's and his own metal heartbeat, and then like it turned to like Sonic dying. I
Yeah,
was like, oh, he has
and Metal
emotions.
Sonic
I do
cheering.
like to see a robot with emotions. I think it's very like funny that before, he loses and stuff, like when he's first fighting Metal Sonic, he like very like point blank is like, I have to be the one to kill Metal Sonic. No one else can. And it's like, dude, what the fuck? Like later they kind of say like, oh, well, no one else can keep up with him because he's going too fast. But like at first it's just very like, I'm there could only be one, and that's like that comes up a lot, but like it's just very funny. He's like, fuck my friends. They helped me this whole time, but fuck them. But yeah, when Sonic loses, does he get like put into like a warp thing?
He does. I think he gets sent to some other zone, like I think it's called like Forest Zone or whatever. We get a shot of Old Man Owl just chilling on the beach at night, and Metal Sonic shows up, and it's like really scary and intimidating, but well, we don't know what happens. And then Sonic wakes up in like some weird foresty area. It's very pretty. Eventually it's the next day, and we do find out Metal Sonic has been wreaking havoc throughout the entirety of the Land of the Sky. The forest zone is on fire, cities are being destroyed. They see, like, the president sees, like, footage of Metal Sonic flying through the air and is like, is that Sonic?
Yo, did Sonic get a jetpack? That's so cool.
Damn, Sonic's shiny normally?
He got that new Sonic Shine.
I think, like, Tails and Knuckles arrive at, like, the beginning, like, when they're at the beach and stuff, they kind of have, like, a base. Like, Tails and Sonic kind of have, like, a base, and it looks like Metal Sonic, wreaked havoc on the base, and they're like, oh, at least no one's here. And then Tails remembers that the old man was there, and he's like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. He's dead. Oh god. But he's not.
Instead of being horribly injured or killed by Metal Sonic, he's got some six threads and a skateboard.
Put him in Sonic's favorite clothes and then just left.
And I was like, first of all, why? Second of all, damn, Sonic's favorite clothes fit wings really well.
Metal Sonic decided that everyone needed some new threads.
Hell yeah. I mean, you know.
You know.
He does decide Knuckles needs new threads later. At that time.
Oh, that is true.
Is this when like Tails realizes that they're like share a personality or something, that like they're twins? He's like, they're twins, and I'm like, okay, sure. If if twins can normally read each other's minds, the normal twin thing that all twins can do.
Yeah.
Of reading each other's minds.
Yeah, Tails is like messing with the communicator to see if he can like use it to hack into Metal Sonic, and we learn this whole thing about how Sonic and Metal Sonic have like some sort of symbiotic link. And
they have a shared brain cell, and Metal Sonic has the brain cell at the moment. And then,
yeah,
like, eventually the president calls in to the base, and first the old man tries to like answers it, and it's just saying like dumb bullshit at the president, and he's like, come on, where the fuck's Sonic?
He just has his headphones in.
Yeah. And then Knuckles appears, and he's like, who are you? And I'm like, do you not know Knuckles? Okay. I'm Sonic's best friend. Tails is gone, I guess. No, he's not. He's busy, but I was like,
yeah, Tails has no comment for that, actually. Tails just gonna let that slide.
But Knuckles like tells the president what's going on, I guess, and like how that's not actually Sonic wreaking havoc. And when he's like telling him all this, it like cuts away, right? To is this what it? I think it might have cut away to Sarah and Robotnik.
Yeah, Sarah and Robotnik are wearing wedding clothes, and like Sarah's like, this dress rules, but why are we dressed like this? And Robotnik explains, after Metal Sonic destroys the world, they'll be the only two people left on Earth, so they can get married and
Sarah
have
imagines
kids
this
together.
like
And
happening, and
get
actually,
like
like
this.
we had been seeing Sarah and
Yeah.
Robotnik like occasionally, just like in Robotnik's little hover thing. They just been like hanging out, I guess. Like at first, Sarah was like tied up, but then she was untied and just like chilling with Robotnik and watching Sonic get the shit beat out of him, you know. And then yeah, we see this wedding clothing. She looks cute. I mean, but it's very weird. She feels a little bit
Yeah.
shoehorned in, I have to say. But um maybe I just wanted more girl power and I wanted her to like kick the shit out of Robotnik, you know.
She does a little bit. She does.
She does a little bit. She does sound like a Metal Sonic later, but like
Yeah, she.
not really.
Uh, Eventually, we cut back to like Knuckles and the president, and it turns out Sonic's been in the president's like communication room this whole time, and they explain like if Metal Sonic wants to destroy the world, they have to go to like
Appar- Apparently, in the North Pole, the two worlds, the Shadow World and the Sky World, are connected by one singular ice bridge on one giant iceberg. And if Metal
Yeah.
Sonic shoots one laser blaster, cause an explosion on said bridge, lava would shoot up through the iceberg and then melt the ice cap, thus causing the planet to crumble. The
Yeah,
whole world
like a normal planet.
the whole world is dependent on this one iceberg.
Yeah, and if this happens, the Sky World will just like go into space. Like in the shadow, like the darkness land will be left behind. And I'm like, okay, yep, that's how it works. That's how gravity works. I'm sure. I'm sure of it now.
Physics. Physics. Thank you, Sonic.
Like, oh yes, I love to be held on. I love
I
to be held on Earth by one singular uh iceberg that if it melts, then the crust will come off planet Earth, and I will fly into the sun finally, ending my life. Like
I am that image
that's
right now of yes, I understand everything, understands nothing.
yeah, exactly. And oh my, it's just like so funny. I don't know why.
The
Like
whole world is connected by one singular iceberg.
like I don't know why they couldn't do like some other thing like, oh, the president has a button that will do like, it could be still stupid as hell, but like
Or
I don't
just be
know.
like, hey, stop Metal Sonic from blowing up all these cities.
Yeah,
But no, it had
true.
to be there's an iceberg that stops our sky planet from floating away. Could you have him not do that?
It's just very funny. I mean, I guess the Sonic games have weird shit too, like the how the Master Emerald like keeps the island afloat and stuff like that. But I don't know. That's I have an easier time hand waving that. I think because I think because it makes more sense in the logic of the world. Whereas like The fucking ice caps. I mean, this is just a very direct metaphor for climate change, obviously.
It's very direct. There,
Sorry, we should move on
Yeah.
from this. I'm just
I don't think I ever
uh,
can.
I don't think I can
Yeah.
either. I
Yeah.
am changed forever. I have been changed forever by the ice caps keeping the world together. This is my new conspiracy theory. If the ice caps on the Earth melt, then the crust will fly off the Earth.
Yeah, it's not flat Earth theory. It's a singular ice cap theory, and if it goes, we're all doomed.
Fuck. We're fucked. Oh my god. There's so many other problems that I'm just like, we don't need that one. um,
Yeah, they eventually go to this iceberg and where Sonic and Metal Sonic have their final fight scene. They like duke it out. There's like cool music playing in the background. Sonic gives what the most widely remembered line in this entire OVA. You may know everything I am going to do, but that's not going to help you, because I know everything you're going to do. Strange, isn't it? Yeah, they're just like running into each other.
so before this, like, when Metal Sonic had like first gotten Sonic's downloaded data, I thought like it just the reason they knew each other's like movements was because Metal Sonic could predict Sonic's movements, and Sonic knew that Metal Sonic would just mirror his. The reason he would know it is because Sonic knows what he's going to do, you know? But no, they're actually connected because later, Metal Sonic is getting kicked by Sarah, and Sonic feels it, and I'm like, okay,
Oh, is
I
that's
don't know
what's
why I tried to
happening?
logic this out.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought it was a lot worse because Metal Sonic pops his head up through the like ship that they're on, looking weirdly up like Sarah's dress, and I thought Sonic could like see a psychic image of it, and that's why he was like, "Oh, no, 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 no."
Oh no, that's no,
Okay,
because
I saw.
Robotnik is. Yeah, I don't think he saw
I
under her dress.
I
I mean,
thought
he
that
could
was a
have,
lot
but
worse than it was.
there were like, I mean, there was the later part with Tails like accidentally touching her boobies, but
Yeah, that's not canon. That never happened.
that moment was, yeah, he was like freaking out, and I mean, Robotnik even says like, "Oh, you're synchronized with him" or something like that. Some bullshit. Like,
Some
that's what I was like,
weird.
okay, there's just mind meld in here. Like twins do. Like Tails said, like twins
You
do.
know, when twins sometimes just like enter each other's mind palaces and just become one.
Yeah, they just share a mind palace. Um,
There's a bit where Dr. Robotnik like opens up the front of the thing to show these missiles. One of them looks like a rabbit and the other looks like a turtle. He launches the rabbit one to blow up, I think, Tails' plane. And then he sends out the other one to finish the job, but the turtle one is too slow. It's barely moving. And like there's between like the two missile slots is like a pig waving a flag, just trying to cheer on the turtle.
I thought the whole thing there was, how in Sonic they have what are the animals in the robots called? Flickies, yeah. I thought they were flickies, like I thought they were flickies like immediately being turned into robots when they were actually launched out. I don't know. I wasn't sure. But The turtle will come back, so keep it in mind. So
Uh, yeah, so Knuckles just barely manages to save Sarah from falling to her death. Uh, the boob thing happens with Tails.
it's
Uh,
isn't it like before this that Tails like takes out Sonic's personality from Metal Sonic with the little communicator thing?
yeah, he's like trying to do that throughout this fight, so like I think like he's just trying to like hack into Metal Sonic to like make it so that it's he's not as difficult to fight or whatever.
Is this the part where the plot remembers that there's like erupting magma that needs to be stopped from melting an ice bridge? Because is this the part of the plot where like the plot remembers that there's erupting magma that needs to be stopped from melting an ice bridge? Because Knuckles just goes and does that.
Oh yeah, like there's some weird thing where Knuckles like has to like dig holes through the ice to redirect the lava.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, that does happen,
And
huh?
is this where we lose
yeah,
Fantastic Hat Knuckles?
yeah. At some point during this whole sequence, Knuckles' hat gets caught on fire and is destroyed, ripped to a real one.
It's very tragic, and
He'll never be the same.
he'll never be the same. And he later doesn't have a hat to protect him when Sonic steps on his head during the fight.
You see, it was
Yeah,
valuable.
Uh, it's very tragic, and yeah, it's very valuable. Um, yeah, so I guess the lava, yeah, is taken care of because I don't know if we actually said that the lava was. I mean, maybe we did, but like the lava is was on top of the the thing. Like I don't know where the lava came from. That's why I'm like having a hard time explaining this. It's just there. The lava is there. It
yeah,
was put there, and then it was moved by Knuckles, and it's
yeah.
good. And everything's good now, except not really because the at first they think like, oh, Sonic wins. He beat Metal Sonic when Tails makes him easier to fight or like desyncs them or whatever. But he's not dead.
At some point during all this, like the president's spaceship or whatever crashes into the iceberg, and he's like he's going to like burn to death or whatever, so they have to save him. And then I think they
It's
do
gonna
some more.
explode too, isn't it? Like
Yeah,
it's gonna. The whole thing is not just like the president suffocating, but that it's gonna
yeah,
explode and make the iceberg break anyway and make the world float off anyway, even though they redirected the lava. This is very weird to
There,
explain.
there's just a lot going on all the time.
this OVA this OVA it doesn't explain itself super well.
That's why
Uh,
it feels like it's part of something else, which
yeah,
I guess an OVA often is kind of built from like it's its own thing usually anyway, but I don't know. Anyway, yeah, sorry. When they're trying to free the president, that's when like Metal Sonic reappears and is like, "I'm here and I'm gonna kick your ass."
yeah. They fight more. Eventually, what happens is like Metal Sonic like falls into the lava, and he's like about to die.
Before
Uh
this though, doesn't he like almost fucking choke out Sonic?
Yeah,
oh yeah,
Or was
yeah,
that
that
was
before the
before the
desync?
desync
I'm
because that's
sorry.
also when Sarah tries to like beat up Metal Sonic.
That's right. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, at one point Sonic does get choked out.
Yeah, that
It's like, wow,
happens.
he's trying to choke us. Yeah. So it's just important to know that Sonic gets choked out. But yeah, uh, eventually, like, they desync and all that stuff happens, and
Yeah, and like they fight, and like Sonic can't rescue the president and Old Man Owl, so Metal Sonic does it because he thinks he's Sonic too. Uh,
he doesn't rescue them.
he gets them out of the ship that's about to explode.
No, it was Knuckles
No,
and
they
Tails,
can't
wasn't it?
break the glass on the ship, and Sonic like throws Metal Sonic in like the ship to like I don't know destroy the glass or whatever, and then Metal Sonic just carries the president out. Once again, this
Oh, sorry. It was like kind of desynced at this point for me, so I think I
once
got
again this
confused.
entire thing was kind of a wild
Right.
ride that never stopped whatsoever.
I'm sorry. I feel like I'm making everything confusing because I'm like going back and then I'm just like, oh, this happened. But yeah, you're right. You've seen
Yeah,
this more times than I have, I think, Dan, also.
yeah, I've seen this several times. It's
So you would know that, yeah, Metal Sonic does stuff. I just. Everything is happening all the time.
everything happens so much.
This is my brain.
Yeah,
This OVA is
eventually,
my brain.
Metal Sonic like falls into the lava, and Sonic like tries to rescue him, but then he like sends one last message to Sonic, which is there can only be one Sonic, and then he dies in the lava like the Terminator.
Yes! It is very
Yeah,
Terminator,
Sonic
isn't
is
it?
like going to rescue him, and Knuckles like, no, don't. He'll drag you in with you. And Metal Sonic just like goes to grab Sonic's hand and then just slaps it away. Like he just reaches out and he's like, yeah, no.
Yeah, and then he's like, there can
There
only
can
be
only
one
be
Sonic!
one.
And he melts.
But it's fine because he had a save file.
Yeah,
Robotnik.
like Dr. Robotnik shows up like right after the rest of the cast are like mourning his loss. He's like, haha, but I've got a backup. I've saved him on the cloud. He's got this backup disc with all of Metal Sonic stuff, and he's like, I'm going to build another one, even bigger and stronger, and won't fuck up like the last one did. And then that turtle missile from before lands into Robotnik and blows up the disc.
Guess he should have kept it in the cloud. Then it wouldn't be lost forever. Brought to you by whatever cloud you use.
Brought to you by Dropbox.
After this, isn't
Brought
this
to you
the
by
extended
Dropbox.
scene where like Knuckles punches Sonic and says like that's for before, and Sonic's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Get back here.
Yeah. And they just sort of chase after each other, and the rest of them follow in the ship. And that's the end of the movie.
I think it's
Yeah.
funny that they just are like, at the end, they're like, oh, Robotnik, and he like, that's what it felt like. It felt very like, Robotnik, you silly man. You know you couldn't have
Robotnik
won.
fully tried to blow up this planet, and they're just like, "Oh, Robotnik, come
Because, yeah,
on!"
they all, like, go in the ship and follow after Sonic, Knuckles,
They
and Tails.
they just start yelling at him to go follow, like they're not even afraid.
Yeah. It's just a very weird ending. But very funny. And that's how it ends. All of them running after each other.
I think now that we've fully covered the Sonic OVA, let's get into some questions. Listeners, if you want to send in a question, you can either email us at shufflesonic@gmail. You can reply to an ask tweet when they come out You can reply to an ask tweet. Those usually come out the day of the recording. Or you can ask at your leisure on the Ask Zone on our Discord, which you can find on our Twitter. Let's open with the Twitter question we got. Jasmine Marsh, at Pidman, asks, all monarchists are bastards. What would your main accessory be if you were a cartoon character of the 1 or 2 pieces of clothing max kind?
Who's a monarchist in this?
Isn't it?
Don't think there are any specific.
The closest would be the president.
Is the monarch?
I guess the president.
I don't know. Maybe it translates different. We watched this and we watched the dub, but like,
Yeah.
in case that wasn't clear. What clothing? I'm trying to think of like clothes I wear a lot, and I'm like, you know.
I'd probably go with glasses and a cool jacket. Maybe like a varsity jacket, since I like to wear those.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen like your Sona at varsity.
Yeah.
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 I think I would also probably like have the glasses, since like my current icon has the glasses, and it'd probably just be like, if this was just where I was in a perfect world, I would have my t-shirt that says they, them, theirs on it, so everyone would just know my pronouns.
Cool.
And also it would look cool because it's like the genderqueer flag with they, them, their. Yeah. So that would be my funny animal outfit.
Yeah, I would probably go with, I have a sweatshirt now that just says World's Greatest Grandpa that I wear everywhere. And it's very warm and nice. So I'd probably have that and probably just a funny hat. I would probably have Knuckles' cowboy hat. That's a very good hat.
Oh, yeah.
Just like strong cowboy grandpa energies. Is this the kind of life I want to live?
Yeah. Let's see. On the Discord, we have 3 questions. The first is from Jakey, who says, OMG, yes, I love this. Used to rent it from Blockbuster nonstop as a kid. What were your childhood watch it over and over and over movies? Trying to think.
I don't. I know like a ton of kids watch stuff over and over, but I don't remember actually having one myself. My neighborhood best friend had one. She would want us to watch the Matilda movie over and over. So like I saw that one a bunch because it's a good movie, like for sure. At least from what I remember of it, but I don't remember like having one where like I would have to be like, Mom, I want to watch this again and again. I'd have to ask her because she remembers more of my childhood than I do. Whoops. Just because my brain is broken. But I mean, if it was something, it'd probably be some kind of like Disney movie. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if I had done that with like Toy Story or something, but I don't think I really had one.
If I remembered it correctly, the one that I watched all the time when I was real little was apparently The Land Before Time, is what my mom says I normally watch like over and over again. But the one I do remember watching over and over again was we had one copy of the third Lord of the Rings movie, and I just thought it was neat, mostly because I just loved all the Sam and Frodo content before I knew I was a young gay. Just before I knew as a young gay, I was like, I just think they're neat.
I actually did not watch those movies until I was older. That's a long one to watch over and over.
I somehow made it through every Saturday morning. I remember just going straight to like our basement to just watch it. And every single Saturday my brother would be like, "What are you doing?"
Uh, to the best, there are a couple things that I can remember. Let's see. Off the top of my head, I recall rewatching this one specific Pokemon VHS. Not a movie, but one of the VHS tapes. I also, when I started seeking out movies on my own, I remember rewatching the Star Wars trilogy a bunch. Like, I recently rewatched it with some friends, and it was weird seeing how much of every line of dialogue I remembered. Yeah, let's move on to the next question. Flutterdark asks, how would you beat your robotic doppelganger if it wants you dead?
I think I just lose.
Does it?
Let's be
Yeah,
real.
does it get all my weaknesses? Because I got asthma, so I'm not gonna outlast.
I feel like if I faced my robotic doppelganger, we would, like, fight on a roof or something, and I would just barely make it out alive. I knock him off the roof of the building, and it gets destroyed, but I just barely manage to, like, hang on and get out alive.
Damn. Yours is way cooler.
Yeah, I just
Well,
resigned
I
to
guess
lose.
if it was like exactly I guess if it was exactly me, then it would also suck at fighting, right? Because like the whole thing is like Sonic, it's the same as Sonic exactly, pretty much. Um I think I would just like try to give it anxiety and make it lose because it just like was panicking too much or something. Like it's just like
Damn.
I'm gonna lose anyway.
You just give your robot doppelganger a panic attack.
Yeah, dude. If it was trying to kill me, like I would hope that my robotic doppelganger would know better though.
Alright. Yeah, last question. James the Cat Girl asks, is Knuckles' hat the source of ultimate power?
No, because he loses it. Oh, does he stop flying before he loses his hat? Because there is a point where like Tails
He
carries him,
stops flying before
and
he
then
loses the hat. He stops flying when they're like chasing
okay.
after Sonic and Metal Sonic the first time.
Yeah, so I think it's not because he loses it, right? So
Yeah. It might be able to give him to fly, an ability to fly that's on a cooldown.
I do like that. Good theory.
Yeah, it's treasure. He says he's a treasure hunter.
Yeah. It's some sick loot from his last haul.
The hat of flying.
I think that wraps things up for today. Hey, it's Dan. It's been 2 days since we finished recording the last episode, and the time between then and now, I realized we never actually rolled for the next week's episode. So, in post, I am doing such now. I've got my D10 here. I am opening up the list, and I am rolling. That's a 9. Next week, we're talking about Sonic Boom. Let's see. Devon, where can we find you?
You can find me at Grooving Ghastly on Twitter. I'm on Tumblr at Jazz Dumpster. And you can also listen to, can I plug the other podcast I'm on, Going Whale Hunting, the Hunter x Hunter recap podcast. We finally got a few episodes out because I have been real bad at uploading my audio files for that.
Alright. Morg, where can we find you?
You can find me at Haunting the Morg on Twitter. That's Haunting the MORG. It's also my Tumblr too. I never fucking use it, at least to blog stuff. But you can also find me on well, you can find the first season of WoW, Cool Robot, where I'm the co-host. Uh, that's all completed, and you should keep listening even after I'm off it because there's going to be some real good co-hosts in the future. But yeah, it's where we talk about Gundam, the good anime of Gundam, and you might see me on a different podcast soon that maybe being recorded this Sunday, whatever, Sunday, yeah, that may or may not be weirdly similar to Devon's podcast.
You know, it's all similar. It all comes together. It all joins in one.
You know,
All
the normal.
All podcasts are becoming one.
All podcast is the same.
We are reaching critical mass.
Podcast singularity.
Yeah, I'm
And
Dan.
where can we find you, Dan? Sorry.
Oh yeah. I'm Dan. You can find me at a lot of places, and you can find all of those places at linktr.ee/Mike_Dawson with a 0. From there, you can find my Twitter. You can find the other 2 podcasts I'm on, Strangers Fiction, which is an actual play podcast focused on one-shots, and Pot of Greed, a Yu-Gi-Oh! Podcast that we are nearly done with the original series. We are on the last arc. I hope you can listen to it and enjoy it. And you can also find my art blog and my Ko-fi where I take commissions, and my comedy blog at Xbox_holiday, where Usher celebrates holidays with Xbox. And, of course, you can find us at Shuffle Sonic on Twitter. And from there you can find our Discord, where you can take part in discussions about Sonic the Hedgehog. You can email us at sonicshufflecast@gmail.com. And, I don't know, rate and review us on iTunes or something. That would be nice.
Oh, yeah.
And with that, as always, Sonic the Hedgehog is real, he is strong, and he is my friend.
He's the only blue life that matters.
The only one.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.